Richard, oh my God, what a beautiful day today, isn't it?
Yes, on a Monday, the busiest day of my entire week. Love it.
Right. Hitting Monday hard, sun's out, guns out, little gym sesh this morning. Like, we start the week hard with a bang.
Nice. Is that a shout out CBT gym?
Yep. Yeah, a little jog this morning and, do some curls and, pretty
Wow,
solid.
you're such a gym rat, bro.
Totally. I've always just been a runner, but been picking up heavy things and trying to put them back down lately. That's been interesting. It's really hard.
Well, your daughter's getting bigger, so you have to keep up, right?
That's honestly what it is. Like when I pull her out of the crib, it's like, oh my God, like I need to do something about this because she's only getting bigger and I appear to be getting more fragile. So
nice.
Yes.
Well, we're going to make the most of this sunshine. And by doing that, we have brought in an artist who absolutely loves nature. And just based on what the art I've seen, really impacted by the sun. So welcome, Alex McLaughlin. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Just assuming the pronunciation. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Any relation to Sarah McLaughlin?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just had to ask.
Yeah.
She's never been asked before.
It's my married name and my husband's from out east. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Cool.
McLaughlin.
It was easier to say than my former maiden name.
Right. Fair enough. Alex,
you can let us know what that is now.
Yeah, it was Alex Gregitis.
Oh.
Just like a disease.
Nice. Yeah. You said it. I'm glad we didn't say it.
Yeah. But very recognizable, right? I think we were the only Gregitises in the area.
As a realtor, I recognize the name instantly.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Well, Alex, welcome. So bring us back to the very beginning. Where were you born?
I was born here. I was technically born in Orillia.
Okay.
During a snowstorm in November.
Of course.
My parents lived in Honey Harbour, and as they still do, they're kind of between Honey Harbour and Midland.
Okay.
And I grew up mostly in Honey Harbour. If we lived in town, and I was attending school in town, we actually moved every 5 years because my parents are in real estate and building, and there were, multiple cool opportunities. And so, I either lived in Honey Harbour, Port Severn, or Midland throughout my life. And I think I only lived in Midland when I was right in town was when I was in university. So.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Yeah. But, sorry. And every single summer I spent in Honey Harbour. Didn't even really want to bother being in town because I got to spend all of my time on the water. So
that's a beautiful place to spend your summer.
Yeah, very lucky.
Right.
I need to know, what was growing up in Honey? I grew up in a small town too, but I feel like there's a big center nearby, so it didn't really feel small. What was growing up in Honey Harbour like? Could you bike down the street to a friend's house? What was that dynamic like?
It was really cool. So we first lived in the house that my grandfather built, my Opa.
Okay.
And it was right on Honey Harbour Road near South Bay. That house actually just sold again recently. So you guys might have seen it. But so I grew up basically on the marsh. It's wild in the backyard there, and I would play with garter snakes and be immersed in nature and outdoors all the time. I did bus to school, to the Honey Harbour school, because it's probably 1.5 kilometers or something when I was really young. And then we actually moved down to the end of Honey Harbour Road where Trails End Cottages is. Okay. I don't know that spot, but back when the Moosies owned it. And we rented the main house for several years there. And that was until I was in grade 3. But definitely sort of the most formative time for a lot of my inspiration and like what has come out in my art. Because I had a lot of like free time to just be outside on my own. They'd slap a life jacket on me. That was the rule. And I like it's so different now, right? But I try to be like that with my kids too, like give them quite a bit of freedom as long as we're taking some safety precautions. Um, and I would just fish. Honestly, I fished all the time, dig for my own worms, and I was happy with that. Or saving birds. My dog would often find birds and hurt them, and then I would rehabilitate them.
Aw.
And yeah, so that was like what I did as a kid. Lots of biking, and because we were on Trails End, we didn't really have to go far because it's like a cottage rental property, and so you'd have an influx of different families coming in every week, or sometimes they'd be staying for a month. But
That's
so
so
I got to
cool.
make some really good friends in the summer, but then they'd leave, and I do honestly remember feeling like lonely a lot of the time too, or like bored. But
Mhm.
I fully appreciate that I had that time now. Um, it's like one of the most important things I try to offer my own kids, and yeah, I think that helps you be so creative, right? So and like form a relationship with nature that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do that anymore. So
Right.
Yeah. I think that's just part of being in a small town is there is that loneliness because your friends are like so spread apart, and also biking everywhere because people are so spread apart, and your parents don't want to drive you places. So it's like I'm biking or I'm not doing
yeah,
anything.
yeah. And my parents were working 24/7. Like my dad, I didn't see him a whole lot. He was running A&A and up like before anyone else would wake up and home almost at bedtime every day. And then my mom was working in real estate since I was in like grade 1 or 2, or it was when my brother was a baby. So really, I was like 5, 6 years old when she started working. So yeah, they were always working really hard. But we had an amazing summer. It just the deal was we didn't have activities in town. We had a babysitter and we had that entire property and boats. Like as soon as I was old enough, I guess when I was 12, I would just practice docking over and over and over until I was allowed to go somewhere in the boat. But I spent a heck of a lot of time just practicing docking, which is something that everyone should do, but they don't necessarily do.
Especially in
And
Honey Harbor. Like, is it a
it,
prerequisite to have a boat if you're in Honey Harbor?
I
You have to
would
have a
think
boat.
I still consider myself really lucky that I had access to a boat, right? Because a lot of people do live here on the water and don't even know what it's like out on the bay. So that was like a huge it's like freedom to me, the feeling of boating. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, you have a lot of like art around water, so I can imagine
yeah,
you spend a lot of time staring at water because what you
a lo-
paint looks real.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So to fast forward a little bit, um, oh, I'm just trying to decide where where I want to fast
Why
forward.
don't you give us some like early career things, like
Yeah,
where you weren't just an artist from the beginning. I'm sure you worked at some places and you
yeah,
got some experience. How was that?
yeah, exactly. So I couldn't wait to work. By the way, since I had all that time by myself in nature, it was a really nice change to work and like do something social during the summers.
Mhm.
So yeah, I worked a few places in Honey Harbour in the summers, and but mostly at the boat club. And then I worked for my dad at A&A for 7 years too. So I did a lot of the construction stuff and was like one of the main operators. I ran the barge and the all the
Nice.
equipment and
That's
really got
cool.
in. Yeah, it was really fun. I loved like just learning from all the trades guys and especially stonework. And I think I loved that so much because it was really creative, right?
Mm.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I did a ton of landscaping and thought a lot about whether I wanted to get like heavily involved in that business.
Mhm.
But my parents were I think it's really smart of them. They wanted me to work for other people and have my own experiences. So there was definitely like no pressure at all to do that.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of what I did. I ended up going to university. I went to Western and took,
Woo!
yeah. And they did want me to do business, and I started in that, but I very quickly switched to a psychology degree and dabbled a little bit in art. I like took one art course, which I spent all my time and energy like doing those assignments. So that should have been
Nice.
my first
Were
education.
you in, oh, what was it called? BMOS?
No,
No?
I like the building.
No, the first, like when you, what the program you were in when you first went.
Oh my gosh. I don't even remember what it was called. I was doing a BA in
Mhm.
psychology. University, I fast tracked because I was that double cohort in high school.
Right.
And so I was 17 when I went, and I don't know. I didn't really know what I was doing, and that was sort of the first time that things didn't go so smoothly. But it was a good experience like for growth just as a human being, but didn't really feel like I had direction
Right.
after that.
Looking back at it now, what do you think your biggest takeaway was from that?
Um I think like try I kind of always did. I really worked hard and I did a lot of things growing up, like to the best of my ability. I did well in school. And then you can't like muscle through certain things, right? And at that point, that was kind of like when life started happening. I won't get into like things that happen, but
Mhm.
big life events that really throw you off, and you just have to keep going and do your best. Like one of the ones that wasn't as bad as I broke my leg really bad, and
Oh my gosh.
like I
It wasn't really
continued.
bad. It wasn't really bad.
Yeah, no, I had some other stuff going on in life that was pretty intense. So just the fact that I finished and it felt like I got through it was good enough. I
Nice.
don't know why, but university was like not my moment. Um, And I got off track because I was always in sports and like music and all this organized stuff. And then I kind of like left that behind when I went to university. And I think I got a little bit lost because of it. So
Do you think there's
yeah,
this like growing up in a small town, you're like felt like a small fish in a big pond in a sense?
I like purposely put myself in that position because I love to to not feel uncomfortable, but I love like change and challenging myself. I didn't wanna go to a small university at all. So
Hmm.
and, like, this explains that even further. Right after university, I went backpacking solo. So,
Right.
um, I
Whoa.
really, like, love challenging myself that way and, meeting
Sorry.
people and I sorry.
Let's touch on that. Where did you go? What did you do? Who'd you
Yeah,
see?
um, we have really good friends. She's Australian and this couple met in Australia, and they were over when I was sort of considering going there, and they were the wise people that convinced me to go for longer than I think I was thinking like 3 weeks,
Right.
which felt like a big deal to do my first trip alone for 3 weeks, but they were like, you need at least 3 months, give yourself 3 months at least. Um, and it ended up being my first trip was 8 months long on my own. So
Okay. We extended.
yeah, I
A
got
little.
I got a one-way ticket and a working visa just in case, but I didn't really have the pressure to work. And yeah, so I did a lot of Australia, mostly the eastern um, side, and I
Mhm.
then I went over to New Zealand. I did Southeast Asia, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, um, and then returned to do the western side of Australia. Uh, but I was pretty tired by then. That was like around the 8 month mark, and it was winter there, so it was not super hot. And I don't know, it just felt like it was over, and I was kind of like pushing myself to go to the West Coast because had planned to do that, and then I just had to come home. I was too tired. So the adventure and the not having a home and, walking everywhere with your groceries, like from place to place, like I felt like that was so exciting most of the time until the end. And then I like actually wanted the comforts of home. So,
Right.
It's funny
um,
how I used the university as a small fish in a in a big pond, and then you go from university to like I'm going to go on the other side of the world for 8 months. Like that just
yeah,
exponentially went crazy. Bigger pond.
yeah. And,
That's crazy.
yeah, it was the best thing I ever did. I feel like it changed my life because I was actually like painfully shy growing up. Um, I do get like quite nervous to speak for some reason. That's just my personality.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of practice, so I'm getting used to it now, and I have to do it a lot for what I'm doing now. But
Right.
um, that forced me to have to do everything on my own. I had to ask for directions all the time and approach friends um and really like be open to the world and and it was so cool like what happens, and I think it taught me that huge lesson, like not to try and control and like over plan everything and to be open to like what kind of happens when you're like plugged into the universe. Um and yeah, I have like friends that I still keep in touch with from that trip. One of them came to my wedding. He
Amazing.
is the one I met somebody, a real estate agent actually, from Ottawa. He's now like a really successful real estate agent or broker.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, I went to Southeast Asia with a friend I met just to make it a little safer, right?
Right.
But we had lots of adventures, and then I came home and did a
Any
couple.
I was
It
gonna
was
say
hard.
any big bug stories from Australia or any crazy snake stories, anything like that?
I worked on 2 farms. I lost my purse in New Zealand, on one crazy day, and so lost my passport too,
Oh no.
which was really unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the details of that crazy story, but yeah, thankfully, I was in New Zealand. It wasn't too hard to get a temporary passport, although it was a hassle. And then I ended up working because I think that put me back, a couple grand or something. And for that trip, it felt like a lot of money. So
Right.
then I was working on a farm, which this just shows like you can't control it. Like that seemed like such like a, I guess, a negative thing at the time. Um, but really it wasn't, because I ended up at this farm in the outback planting tomatoes for 5 weeks, because I actually wanted to build up a certain amount of money to keep going.
Mhm.
And I made like the best friends, and we dreamed about going to Thailand because your money goes further there. And it just that's like the moment that it became like a true adventure. Um, Even though there's an element of danger to it, right? But um,
Tell us about the
that's the
danger.
way I
About so any
yeah.
bugs on the farm? I'm assuming that's where that was going.
Right, yeah. Definitely a lot of like spiders and stuff, and you have to be careful of black widows. And but I never actually came across any of those like crazy small poisonous snakes, which is surprising
That's
because
good.
yeah. Um, but I was careful. I worked on a tomato farm and a passion fruit farm. The passion fruit farm had a lot more bugs because
Mm.
you were like kind of hanging vines and stuff.
Mm.
But
I don't do snakes, so that's I'm glad to hear that you didn't.
well, I am used to them.
Yeah.
That's my first thought about Australia, and I think everybody else's is the bugs and the snakes. Like you
Yeah.
can't help but think about that.
I honestly think I see a lot more snakes here on Georgian Bay than I did traveling in Australia, but also I'm not sure that I was going to like the most remote spots, whereas
Mm.
the islands on Georgian Bay where I'm usually visiting, there's, I think that's a lot more remote and quiet for wildlife there. So,
Mm.
yeah.
I in grade 7 we had to read this book called Le Secret de l'île Beau Soleil, which translates to The Secret of Beau Soleil Island.
Cool.
And the whole premise of the story was this like crazy scientist lady like attacks children with like the rattlesnakes.
Oh
Like
no.
yeah. And I think ever since then, like I've been terrified, thinking
Yeah.
that some scientist lady is going to come after me with a rattlesnake. But
Sorry, where did you hear this story?
it was mandatory reading in my grade 7 class.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. If anyone knows the author out there listening, please let me know, because we need to have her on, and I need to have some
Oh my
therapy
God.
with her.
We have insights
You
into
don't
your
come
nightmares now,
across
then.
Right?
you don't come across that stuff too much anymore, right? I feel like it's a little
Yeah.
more controlled, but
Yeah.
we have like a German fairy tale book too that's pretty freaky. But
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's some.
when I was a kid,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
after 8 months like traveling and that, what does life look like when you come back? Did you come right back to home? What does that look like?
Yep. I think I came back for summer. I basically haven't missed one summer at home ever.
Great
Um,
timing.
Yeah.
I couldn't miss the whole summer, and I believe I went back to work for my dad again. It was just so much fun working in the marine contracting. I could never
Right.
imagine, doing road construction or something. It's got to be like so hot, and it is hot what we were doing, like tearing down cottages and stuff. But at least you can like dunk your head in the lake.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Break
uh,
time.
and I guess what happened was I was in a first aid. I haven't thought about this in so long. I was in a first aid course for ANA and really loving it, like to the point where I felt like a huge geek. Like why am I enjoying this so much? Like it's just something you have to do. But so just like my interest in that, plus knowing I couldn't do an office job, I was always keeping in the back of my mind, like trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. And I had a good friend from Honey Harbour that was a Toronto paramedic. And I don't know, just piecing all of that together, like how I loved driving and being outside and doing like a physical job, and always really loved learning about like health, biology, the body. Yeah, so I started to be interested in maybe doing the paramedic job. I went on a couple ride outs in Toronto. And of course I wanted to work in Toronto right off the bat. Like I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I wanna go and get like the best experience that I can. And just sort of decided and applied and went to Humber College shortly after, which was a 2-year program, and met my husband at school there as well. And we got hired in Toronto together. And
Nice.
yeah, and I worked there for 8 years. We lived in Newmarket, was where our first home was. And it was about a 12-year period where I left, went to school, worked that job in Toronto, and then we moved back up to Midland, really because we were watching the real estate market go crazy in Newmarket at that time. It was, I guess, 2016, 2017. And just kind of decided within a couple weeks with my parents' help to sell our house and move north.
Nice.
But at that time we had babies. So
Oh
I think,
gosh.
yeah, like it was just like everything was starting to, we were kind of like, how is this going to work? Right. 2 shift
Right.
workers. We were doing really well together as a team. And then just that hard question of, am I working to pay someone to take care of my kids, or are we going to make a shift here? And I think I knew that was coming for a couple years and was like struggling with the decision. But at the same time, I always like deep down knew I should be doing something creative to feel like really fulfilled. So,
Right.
and I did not have time for my art when I was a paramedic and a mom. So, when we moved
So
up, north, I went on a leave of absence and started painting and started a website and kind of went all in on art while my husband still commuted for 6 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, and then, and all through the pandemic too, he was working in Toronto. So it was a lot.
That
But
is. Did your husband need convincing to move up this way? Like, I'm sure he had visited when you like go visit your folks and stuff, but
not too much. I think like he's from Fredericton, New Brunswick, and
okay.
being up here, I mean, I had to show him because he hadn't really escaped the GTA when he moved here, so he didn't really understand like how big Ontario is and how different it is
Right.
in different pockets. So no, he loved like when I brought him up to Honey Harbour, um, and just being closer to family was nice too because we are not close to his family. His parents are still in Fredericton, so
Right.
Hmm.
yeah. So it felt like it made sense, and then but yeah, it was really hard. I think at first he just liked that time driving and was used to it. It was like his peaceful couple hours
Right.
each. But it ended up wearing on him and all of us.
Yeah.
So he now works locally for both Simcoe and Christian Island.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
And I can support him, not in the industry, but having had the experience in it and can kind of keep him in check and when he needs to take breaks.
Right.
Oh, you
So,
understand it all the way through, right? Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
that goes far for him.
Yeah.
My question was, how hard was that leap going from like a full-time employed person and realizing, hey, maybe this isn't the lifestyle that I want to have?
Yeah.
Making that leap to being like mom slash artist thing that you got going on. How big was that? Like how hard was
It
that?
was it was a huge transition. And I guess I didn't feel ready to leave that job. Like I didn't feel burnt out. I was just starting to feel like I was really good at it and feeling like relaxed in that job because just like any job, it takes about 5 years to finally feel like you really know what you're doing. You do enough calls, especially in Toronto, um, where you can do 8 to 10 calls on average a day. So you just get like so much exposure to all the different things that, yeah, at the 5 year mark, you're feeling pretty good. And I mean, the last couple years, I was going on modified pregnant, and I
Right.
did the working till 7 months pregnant on the road with my first, and that
Oh my goodness.
That doesn't seem
and
forgiving.
it ended in a breakdown at a hospital on a night shift where I was just like crying for no reason. So
Oh,
yeah, it's just hard. So and I really feel for the mother paramedics that are still doing the shift work, and like it's really hard. Um so giving it up was hard for me, but there was always like, yeah, this like trust in myself and that I should be on a more creative path. um so it felt like a huge leap of faith. I could not have done it without the support of my husband, right? Having that, the consistency with his job, knowing um, as long as he's not doing anything, sketchy to lose his job, like we have him supporting us,
Mm-hmm.
and I can kind of go into this art business and ride the waves. It really is a major roller coaster. Um, and then it took me probably like 3-4 years to stop talking about the paramedic job so much and like really own being an artist, which I always was. Like it all makes so much sense now. Um, but yeah, it was a tough switch for me. But now like people do ask me like, would you go back or do you miss it? And like absolutely not. I love what I'm doing, and
Right.
um, I've been thinking a lot about like sort of similarities between like the things that I've done and like what's the common thread. And I used to always think I needed like an adrenaline rush, with all my adventurous stuff and being a paramedic. But I think have always been searching for the feeling of like awe. And I've been finding that in those adventures, in that job, when I would have like really intimate moments with other humans, like really vulnerable situations. I loved that part of it when it's just like really real. Um, and then same with the art, like that's what inspires me is how Georgian Bay continues to make me feel that way, which I think is pretty impressive after being here my entire life. I don't get sick of it and I like crave it and I can't wait to get back out on the boat and on the dock. So yeah.
It's so interesting how just like a collection of water and rocks and trees and like can evoke such emotion,
Yeah.
right? Like it
Yeah.
like break it down. It's just like such basic things, but when you put it all together, I don't know. I mean, you're right. It's incredible.
It's powerful. Have you guys have you spent a lot of time out on like boats, like out on the water?
Not enough.
I
I
have
have
not.
some, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you need
We were talking about boats the other day. We're like, boats, Richard.
Weirdly enough, we were.
Is it too much maintenance? Is this something we should consider in our lives? Is it,
if you can swing it, then it's worth it. Um, I will take you guys out like this summer. At least come out like for a day with me.
amazing. We have it recorded, so it's got to happen now.
Yeah,
Perfect.
no.
Thank you, Alex.
So you need to know, like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it kind of breaks my heart that so many people live here and don't like really have access to that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's powerful. And I've like my work has sort of dove into like why I've noticed this reaction to my work, but more specifically my paintings of water.
Mhm.
There's something there. And I mean, the response has been strong to everything, the landscape work and everything too, but there is definitely something about the water. And so I've done such a deep dive on like the science of like the human connection to water and how we are water, how much we need it, like how good it is for us, how you can use it in your life as like your like main therapy. Like it's accessible to most human beings.
Mhm.
Um, and it doesn't have to be Georgian Bay. It can be like taking baths or, you know, the ritual of drinking water in the morning. Like just incorporating it in every way that you can is like really important to being a happy, healthy human being. So,
Yeah, I think one
This
word that comes to life when I think about water, or even looking at your art, is like life. Right? Water is the source of
yeah,
life, which is the source of everything good. It's what makes Earth unique to any other planet.
yeah,
And that's when you look out to Georgian Bay. It's like you're just seeing life. It's moving. It's sometimes there's animals, things like that, but it's just life. Like it's alive, and that's what
yeah.
makes it special. And your art really portrays that. I think whether it's reflection or the movement of the water, like it just looks like alive. I think that's
Thanks.
what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and I did. I spent so much time sitting on a dock looking at the water before we were distracted with devices and stuff, right? So that's
so
sorry, go ahead.
no. So I was gonna say you strike me as someone like in everything we've kind of talked about and you've done. You jump in with both feet
Mhm.
and you give it like 100% and like no turning back. You're like this is the thing you're doing and you're gonna do your absolute best at it. So
Yeah.
when did that moment hit you that that you're decided, okay, we're going full in art? Like, was there a specific like thing that happened, or was it just like, this calling that was always there, and then you decide, okay, we got to go explore this?
Yeah, it's back to that sort of how we needed to make some decisions in our life with
Mhm.
having babies and did I want to be away from them all the time and um actually, I didn't plan this, but the painting behind me it's 2017. It was the first painting that I did for many years, like when I was a paramedic, I wasn't painting as much. And I just dabbled in it like really for fun before then. And this was the first one I painted when I was like kind of inching towards the idea of painting and taking it a little more seriously.
Mhm.
Uh, and that's when I started going to yoga, like shortly after the birth of my second son. And so, yeah, and I used to paint a lot more abstract, as you can see. And sorry, I'm getting off track, but can you bring me back to the question?
Yeah. No, so, like, what was that moment where you're like, "Okay, we're doing this?"
Yeah. Um, yeah, like it just made sense. It made sense to when we moved, especially when we sold our house and moved up here. Like
Right,
it didn't feel possible for me to also keep my job in Toronto and do the shift work. So,
right.
um, and that was, it felt so difficult at the time, but I feel like making decisions like putting your kids first and like what's best for the family, even when you don't know what to do, like kind has always, I feel like that guides us in a good direction.
It's a good base
I'm,
for your decisions that you're making.
yeah, I'm always happy if that's sort of the intention behind my decision, even
Right,
if I'm having a hard time with it. Um, but like as soon as I started to be able to paint and take myself seriously as an artist, that was like such a gift. So, and I just didn't ever consider that I could do it as my full-time thing.
right.
So, but it is not easy.
Mhm.
It's such a journey, and like you get a little confident and you think you knew what you're doing, and then it's so tied to the economy and mostly how you feel about yourself in your mind, I find. If I am feeling like really balanced and aligned and more relaxed, I feel like everything goes so much better. And it doesn't matter how much effort or hard work I put into my art. If I'm like internally not feeling okay, then it just doesn't land the same way. So it definitely has a lot to do with energy, which I've always like heavily considered that. But it being an artist, like you get to sort of play in that a little bit more and really like see the proof of it.
So what
As
kind
you
of things are you doing on your day to day that like align you and balance you and keep that energy in good shape?
Um, Creating is a hugely important thing, and I can't consistently be painting every day like the entire year because I
Mhm.
am managing all of the other things in my business by myself. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so
A lot of
like
hats.
yeah, so right now I've been taking like about 3 weeks off because I ended a really big show in Toronto, recovered a little bit. Then I was dealing with opportunities after that, which is exciting. And like the adrenaline kept going. And then we went on a week trip. And then I had to deal with taxes and everything. And
Oh no.
Right.
oh, yeah. But I'm like within days of like really going hard with painting again. So as soon as I'm in that phase where I'm able to fit painting into my day, whether it's an like even a half an hour, I am just like happier overall. And when I'm
Mm.
not, I feel so much more anxious. So that is probably the biggest thing as an artist. Like, and to do it, there's always like a lot of different factors I'm thinking of like, what am I going to paint? Like, how does it fit into what I need for my shows? And like, unfortunately, I do sort of have to be logistic about it to a certain extent,
Mhm.
but also always making room for what I want to do intuitively. I think I used to deny myself of that earlier in this career, and that's like the most important thing. So even when I'm like, this doesn't make sense, but I'm just going to do it for fun because I like feel like I need to do it. Doesn't matter what it is, it's always the most successful thing with people.
Mm.
So that I've just proven that to myself so many times now that And that's so cool, right?
It's
It's
just like
like,
the power of being genuine, like is what you're saying. Like you're being genuine to your own artistic nature, your own creativity, and that's when
yeah,
it becomes the most successful.
yeah. And tuning into that isn't the easiest. But I feel like I've done a lot of like soul searching with the traveling and spending a lot of time like getting to know myself to be able to do that. So and I'm alone all day at home with my dog, and I honestly don't mind. Um the other thing is like daily routines. Like I drop the kids off at school, and then I walk the dog. Like that's a non-negotiable, is getting the dog out for a walk, and that's
Mhm.
good thinking and getting ideas. And if I can come home and paint right away, that's ideal. And I do have like months at a time that I'm able to do that. And then I'm just racing through the other kind of administrative stuff until I can get back to that routine. But
Now,
So
there's always part of the business that you don't necessarily. It's not your favorite thing to do, but you got to do it, right?
yeah. Yeah. But the other cool thing about an art business is it can be whatever you want to make it. Um, I think remembering that is, I think, well, any business really, like keeping that in
Yeah, my
mind.
thought too.
Yeah. Don't like box yourself in and think you have to do it the way that other people are doing it. Because you learn that as you go along, right? You kind of like maybe follow somebody's lead or try and do it the way that it looks like it works. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think staying healthy, intuitive, happy, staying true to yourself, making sure family's happy, all the background stuff, and then things happen. But I think I'm just like uh more used to the ups and downs now too. It's not as hard on me. I say that now. Hopefully, I feel that way when
You're in a good swing up.
like major challenge.
Right.
Because I have run into some pretty significant burnout too. That I feel like I'm always a little bit more careful with myself now. But
Uh,
Right.
we all
Bringing
have
that
to
self
find our
compassion piece.
yeah, yeah. And learning that, just staying curious and learning. I was going to mention all of that science about water. I was searching for what is it about this connection to water that we have, and I came across the book called Blue Mind. Have you guys ever heard of it?
I
No,
haven't, no.
Um, it's a real good one. I mean, I preach about it a lot. It was written by Wallace J. Nichols, who is he was a marine biologist. I wanted to reach out with him and collaborate for. I actually have an upcoming solo show that will be focused on this topic. Um,
Oh,
that's at
okay.
that's at
I
Quest in September.
was gonna say let's plug it. Okay. In
Yeah,
September.
the opening is September 11th, so that's
Okay.
an easy
That
one to
that
remember.
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Um, yeah, so, he ended up passing away, almost a couple years ago now when I sort of started planning this and had just read the book.
Mhm.
But that book, it's like all the research that he did and compiled. It's amazing. It's like things that we already know as humans, but it's like the proof is there, and I found that really exciting. So yeah, that book is incredible if you're interested in that topic.
yeah, anything psychological or human related, I'm a big fan. I already wrote it down. Um,
Yeah.
I actually was like wondering too, because you finished your bachelor of psychology.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you ever work in that field at all then?
No, and I always really loved, yeah, like having those difficult conversations with people or friends, and like felt like maybe I would enjoy being a social worker or something. Because that is like part of being a paramedic. That's a huge
Right.
part of
Totally.
it. Um, but I think the paramedic job was like the perfect combination of it all. It was really fun. Even the driving part. I
Right.
love um and just like the people that you meet, right? So But yeah, I didn't actually go any further. I couldn't imagine myself doing all of like the lab work and everything that was required to go further with it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's all. But obviously, I really do feel like I was meant to end up on this path with art. And it's, it's just one of those careers that, it's so helpful to look at artists in their like 70s, 80s, 90s. Like they keep doing it and they're obsessed with it. And I think that that's like a really cool way to live. So I
Yeah.
definitely won't be, like thinking about retiring from it. I'm just gonna hopefully gain more and more momentum, but also like be able to slow down a little bit, like once we're past this crazy portion of life with kids, and
Right.
um to have a little like more breathing room would be amazing, but I'm having fun regardless.
I
Sweet.
think that's the
The
most
reason why,
important.
totally. The reason why I brought the psychology thinking up was because I find art, whether it's music, books, like painting, whatever you want to call it, is like very psychologically connected to the human spirit or human beings.
Yeah,
Everything has like is created. Everybody creates their own perspective when looking at art based on their own psychology, right?
yeah.
That's why shout out to Jess Graham. I really like these from Jess Graham because it's almost a psychological explanation of what this represents, like how it's connected to humans. So
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of interesting how you started there and end up in art because they are like so connected.
Oh, absolutely. And I was really interested in it like since high school, really, like understanding why people do the things they do, and learning about personalities. And it came in really handy as a paramedic. It's come in even more handy as a parent. I
Right.
won't
My
get
thought too.
too deep into that, but yeah, and especially like a parent through the pandemic, and having my kids are 11 and 9, so unfortunately that age group was like really impacted by the pandemic with schooling
Right.
and stuff, right? Um, but
Two boys, I
yeah,
think, right? I've seen our kids go to the
yes.
same school. Boys, for yeah.
I Was it you that said hi to me the other day?
Oh,
Like
I
you
waved at you. You
waved?
were driving by. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, because we haven't actually even met in person, but I was like, I'm pretty
right.
sure that's Richard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in this new phase where they're usually walking on their own. That's very new.
Right.
But um
How do you
yeah.
get comfortable with that? Because that sounds kind of tough.
Walkie-talkies.
There you go.
They use
Nice.
walkie-talkies all the time in the neighborhood, and we are building like a pretty good community here where some parents are more relaxed about it. It depends if they have like older kids, right?
Mhm.
I basically check in with them every 30 minutes on our walkie-talkies. I refuse to give them a cell phone. So um yeah, that's where we're at. But it's hard, like the brothers too are at an age where they're like best friends, and I know they would do anything for each other, but the age that they're at, they do tend to fight a little bit more.
Right.
So um yeah, so they really have to like earn my trust at this point.
Fair.
Yeah, so it's baby steps, or like one step forward, two back most of the time. It's crazy.
So they just
We're
like go outside and like play?
Yeah, yeah. My kids
We're
are
not there
like
yet.
super outdoorsy. Uh I owe a lot of sort of how great they are with that to forest school. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
Mm,
yes.
yes.
Tiny
yeah,
Forest Academy?
yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Um yeah, big time. They were I think Charlie was the first like class there. Like Whitney just opened it when we moved here, and I went to the open house. I saw it on Facebook and went to the open house and was just like, I want to go to this school. This is amazing. Yeah, I never want to leave when I'm there.
Mhm.
And because it does kind of remind me of how I grew up, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, that was such a gift. Our boys don't go anymore throughout the week because they miss too much in school.
Mhm.
But uh, if that wasn't the case, I would have them going like part-time. But
Right.
Do they do the summer camps?
yeah, and
Well, I
I'm
guess you're
pretty
home, but yeah.
stubborn. We have a lot of cool options now, but I am pretty stubborn about them doing like outdoor camps mostly in the summer. So um up in Honey Harbour, they stopped doing the Honey Harbour camp because it is volunteer run, and we're just at this phase where there aren't enough people to run it. But Camp Kitschy is running a day camp now. So they're doing, but it's boat 2 only. So they're
Right.
going to do that. They're doing the sailing camp in Midland for the first time,
Oh,
which is
cool.
going to be awesome. Yeah. And then I have them on a waiting list for the tiny township camps because I hear they're amazing, and I wasn't fast enough to get them signed up. But
High demand. They fill it fast. They
yeah,
do.
but I've always tried not to like overschedule them too much. But with this show coming up in September, I'm gonna have a really busy summer. So
Right.
I just need a little bit of help.
Fair. I'm just like shifting gears a little bit. Like I'm really big on goal setting for like business, right? So like kind of having a reset once a year to be like, okay, how do we do? Where are we at? Where do we want to go? How do we get there?
Yeah.
Do you do anything like that? And if so, like what does that look like as an artist?
Yeah. Yes, okay, so full transparency, I'm not like the most naturally organized person.
No, yeah, hear ya.
I'm true Sagittarius, and I like need to like feel free all the time. And
Mhm.
um but I am I do make all of these plans, and I am writing lists, and I have gone through years where I actually like have a book, and I'm writing even my to-do list to kind of keep track of like how much I'm doing, because that so easily can get lost and you can feel like you're not doing enough, right?
Right.
Um so I have done that. I always come back to it. I'm not great at consistently always doing it. But I guess what's sort of replaced that is now I am at what I consider a bit of a different level to my business, where I'm investing in different ways. Like I meet with an artist advisor who kind of like
Okay.
helps guide me a little bit with that stuff.
That's the first time I've ever heard that term. Like what?
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Enlighten us.
and it's the company is called Dazed and Confucius, and it's
That's a
out.
sick name.
Yeah, um, and it's out in Vancouver. So we just meet online.
Right.
And I just check in a few times a year, and I honestly never feel like we have enough time to talk about everything I want to talk about. But it's like really good to sort of pick somebody's brain that has a lot of experience in the art world, the
Right.
gallery world, with working with all different artists globally. Penny Lane is the owner, and she is the person I usually meet with. She's done a TED Talk before. Like
I was gonna say, why does that sound so familiar?
Isn't that a Beatles song? Penny Lane?
I think so.
Maybe that's.
Yeah.
I thought that too. I'm like, is that a made up name? That's a Beatles song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, so I do stuff like that to kind of help me, like, I guess, push myself and like make some of these goals. She was the one that pushed me to finally apply for this solo show. I resisted it.
Okay.
Yeah, I resisted it for a few years because these big shows are a lot when I am trying to balance everything with my family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have learned, just sign up for the thing whether you feel ready or not, and you will get there. I trust myself that I'll do whatever it takes to get ready. I guess I was a little bit more hesitant to do that when I was recovering from being pretty burnt out. But yeah, I just have to be really organized ahead of time.
Damn it.
And have like those check-ins for myself. Like I basically, I'm at a point where now I've figured out what shows I really fit into.
Mhm.
Um, and I kind of have like the same routine in the summer now and am doing the same shows like 3, 4, 5 years in a row. So people are kind of getting to know me and expecting to find me there, which is incredible. Like, um, and I do remember when I was just like, should I try this? Like, I was kind of all over the place trying different things. So I feel like I've sort of found my place and just leaned into the Georgian Bay artist because that is who I am. But it felt, um, I don't know, it just felt a little scary at the time, like really like owning that sort of title. Um, but yeah, those Georgian Bay cottage shows are they're sustaining me for sure.
Mhm.
And they're sustaining like the practice that I love having, like going out and plein air painting and working smaller um, to get ideas for the bigger stuff. And then those are sort of the more accessible pieces that people can collect when they come to those shows.
Right.
So, so it's like I kind of know my routine through the summer. There's always a few things that get added in, like neat opportunities that come to me, but I don't generally like search for them
Mhm.
because I will book one or two big things for the year that keep me going.
Right.
um, yeah, this year is I think the busiest I've ever been with artist project in Toronto in March and then a solo show in September. Because often a solo show, you should be prepping for that for an entire year. And I'm gonna do it.
Good.
I've been preparing for years, right? Like, but I do want a significant amount of new work for it. So
Right.
I'm gonna be pushing pretty hard up until August.
So,
Honestly, it sounds like work, but it also sounds like a lot of fun.
It is, yeah. I'm having lots of fun. So, and yeah, this if you're not having fun with an art business, then it's not worth it.
yeah, yikes.
Yeah, and you need a backup. Like the fact that my husband's been able to like support me through has been a huge part of it. There's no way that I could have just jumped into this and expected to be like supporting our family with it.
Right.
Um, I hope I hope to be like um kind of being 50-50, in the future, but we're still not there and I've been doing it for 8 years.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think that's
Oh.
I always joke my wife has the real job and I do my thing over here on the side. Um
It's everybody as long as you're working
I,
as a team, right?
I think that's 100%, right?
And
And I
and
think
it's not all I don't know, we go through phases where you feel like you're doing more than your partner and or
Mhm.
not feeling as appreciated, but yeah, just so important to communicate and have those conversations when you kind of like slip or are out of sync, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I think take a moment here. Shout out to all the partners of entrepreneurs out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Y'all are amazing, and we love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm curious as so when it comes to like an actual like we're creating a whole bunch of new pieces for this show in September.
Mhm.
Um, I know every piece is going to be different, but like what does the timeline look for like a new piece from idea from concept through to completion look like for you? Like
Mhm.
how are we talking like a matter of like days, months, years? Like where
Years.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah. It's having like this creative practice definitely is something that's been building my entire life.
Hmm.
Um, so that like that would be so stressful if I felt like I didn't have any ideas or like was kind of going back to the drawing board when I've booked a show or you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So every time I have something new that I'm working towards and I feel overwhelmed by just all the things going on in my life and I can't quite feel like calm or focused, I just go back to the things I've been collecting and inspired by in the past. And it's like I always have like a running few folders of different themes of things that have like caught my eye or that I've been like wanting to get around to painting and I just haven't had time yet. So that's sort of what I go back to always. And then through the process, I'm sure I'll throw a few new ideas in, but it's for the water, I do use photos. Landscapes can sometimes be different. Like if I paint it on scene first, and then I'll use like a study to inspire a larger piece. Or I'll piece several different photos together or pull something from one of my videos or but yeah, the water I always have used photos because I actually like to use the like in the photo editor, I like to scroll through live photos to find like a really
Mm,
interesting composition with the water
yeah,
because it's constantly moving. So
right.
yeah, and I do take a million photos of the same thing. So often I will kind of have the money shot already saved, but I usually do some tweaking to find like something kind of magical within that photo that I've had saved forever. So that I was actually doing that recently. Like I do have inventory of pieces that if you dig, like people have seen them, I've shown them, they may end up in this show, but I really do want to make as much new work as possible and then see how it all fits together in the end. And I'm sort of forcing myself to move from like the concept and all of like the information I want to present with it to just like do the work, get painting. You have to be organized with all the materials too, right? If you need like a large custom canvas or frame for that, I have to be thinking ahead by like 6 weeks at least to have everything
Okay.
built. So, and I used to be a little looser with just like ordering materials and having them around, but it's like it's really expensive to have all of that inventory. So
Right.
I'm finding a better happy medium with that. So I always have things to keep me going, but then I have to sort of stop at that 6 to 8 week mark before I'm going to need something and order things. But yeah, so I have an idea of like, and then I'll like put it all together and envision these pieces together, and and then I don't order it for myself. I just intuitively choose like which one do I want to work on now. So they may not all end up part of the show.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I just try to follow my heart as much. Had to plug the
Yes.
heart in the
Great
background.
callback.
Yeah, no, it's that is like the North Star for me.
Mhm.
And I've gone through phases where I get distracted with things and don't think that's as important. But no, like that's what
That kind of leads
sorry.
me into like another question I had. And sorry, Richard, this is my last one, I promise. And
That's okay.
then,
I got one lined up. Don't worry. I'll get you.
um, so like I find this like as an actor sometimes too, when you go to audition, right? Sometimes you think about, okay, what do they want to see? Versus like, okay, what am I bringing to this scene?
Yeah.
Do you find you go through maybe like the same kind of ebbs and flows with the visual art? Like,
Yep.
do you struggle between painting for them and painting for you?
Yeah, I've definitely been through that. I love that I'm getting in a better I'm just in a place where I know that doesn't work to do it for other people.
Right.
Um and I also have learned that like every time I create something with thinking it's for a certain person or I'm like guessing who might be interested in it, like I'm dead wrong. Like I could not for the life of me match pieces of artwork to the people that buy them. Like you have no idea what to expect with that.
Right.
And that's so liberating actually
Yeah.
because I have always been a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm like trying to shake that off, because it doesn't matter like what my opinion of the piece is, like whether I'm trying to like stop self-editing so much, because sometimes I feel like maybe I don't want to include a piece in a show because I'm not happy with it. And often that's the first one to sell to like a fellow artist or like somebody that I really like look up to, and that's their favorite piece, right? So it's not necessarily like how well it's painted, although I try to like hold myself to a high standard and and um be like a well-rounded artist and always like be improving my craft, right? The work comes first for sure. But yeah, that's where it's cool. Like you're like playing a part in the universe. And if you are true to yourself, then you're more likely to have your work connect with somebody else, I think.
I'm making
At
a
least,
relation to, I don't know, I just art like music and things like that. But
yeah,
I compare it to like an artist makes an entire album, right? And there's a single that gets released, but like there could be a song on that album, if you don't listen to the full album, that could connect with you far better than the single that came out, right? The single is not entirely designed for everybody. So just like
yeah,
you could have a catalog of art, you put them all out there, and the one that you're least expecting could be the one that's connecting with that one person.
yeah,
I'm a big advocate of listening through full albums because they're made for a reason that particular way.
yeah,
Our music
absolutely.
world's just too much on singles. Like it's just like what's popular. Like listen to the
Yeah,
whole thing because there's beauty
yeah,
hidden in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I try to just keep hope that we're gonna like hit a point where things are gonna go back to the way they used to be a little bit with those things. I don't know. But yeah, we play records and stuff still in our household.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, that's
I
Apparently
think it is
malls are
coming
making
around.
a comeback.
oh yeah?
Yeah, well, okay. So
Nostalgia is the most crave.
ask me to cite my sources and like I won't be able to, but apparently like malls are really making a push to create like like social media like very instagrammable like areas, so like live
Hmm.
walls or like neon lights, so they have like sections of the mall where like kids will go hang out and like take Instagram photos.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I see the way you're looking at me. Yep, yeah.
It's the new era with that too. Yeah, like
Yeah,
in-person shopping and everything.
right. I almost
Yeah.
think like it's like texting, right? If texting came before, I'm passionate about this. If texting came before phone calls, I think people would call each other a lot more because you'd be like, "Whoa, you can actually hear the other person's voice? That's
Yeah.
crazy."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yes, it's more human.
yeah.
I think everybody, well, this just it also gives me hope as an artist that like people are probably craving art and like like more analog forms of things, because everything's just so technical now.
Yeah.
um when I was at my show in Toronto, I felt so funny because it was actually the first time ever that I've Ubered around Toronto. Like,
Wow, really?
yeah, it took me that long to be in a situation where I was by myself. So I was going back and forth from the hotel, and just being like in an Uber where like you can tell that nobody talks to the drivers usually. Um, and you don't have to talk to anybody. Everything is on your phone. Like, uh, it's just so disconnected. So
Mhm.
I had a great time chatting with everybody. I was,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Did your star rating hold up?
yeah,
Or like the conversation was good? You still got your 5 stars?
Oh my
yeah,
God, social
Good.
scores. Oh my God.
Good.
yeah,
Oh,
I do have a big question I want to ask, but
yeah.
before I want to like say that there was another point in time, like after the Dark Ages, where art went from like black and white and very colorless to the Enlightenment and Renaissance of like color coming back into art and people kind of wanting to go back. And I think we are seeing like a little bit of an enlightenment in our society that's like, hey, this has gone too far. Like, we're not happy with how some things are changing. Like, we want to go back a little bit, and it's a little bit of an enlightenment. So I think art
Yeah.
will be a big part of that, 100%.
Yeah, in like the design world too, they're really big bringing color back, which is exciting because all the gray and everything being clean, like that's just not realistic, right? And we need color. I love like mid-century modern design and like all of that color. And yeah, I guess that's where things started to really change, right? Where we had like such colorful cars and um um humans need that in their life. So
I'll
there's a
send you
huge
a
Yeah.
photo of my bathroom when we're done here.
Oh,
I think
yes. I
it'll
love your
bring great
bathroom.
joy to you.
Your bathroom's sick. I walked in there. I think I even said to you, right? I'm like, dude, did you design this bathroom? This is amazing.
My
amazing.
wife got into color drenching for a little bit, so
Cool.
it's very pink.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Sure. Resale is shot, but yes, it's awesome.
All good. People change
Yeah.
everything anyway now,
Oh
right?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Someone's
Yeah.
going to come in there and just tear it up.
Yeah.
I want to say, maybe this is the last question. I don't know. We're kind of coming down to time, but the art community, just because it is a bit of a lonely business, when you're an entrepreneur, it can be genuinely lonely, but I just see art being pretty lonely. Is there anything you're part of locally that is like bringing artists together in the community, or like maybe even like some mentorship of art? Because I go to the high schools and like there's a lot of kids that are in that world that want to be artists, that
I
maybe could
know.
use some mentorship. Is there anything you're part of
Yeah.
for that, or do you see anything like that in town?
So yeah, everything is always coming back to like how much time I have just in this moment in my life. Otherwise I'd be constantly out there. Um, First and foremost, like Quest has done an incredible job the last few years. I feel like they're really building the community there, and especially like gearing things towards kids. Like we obviously all are craving that and needing that with all the young families. So I try to participate there. Like it's so important to participate in the art world, not just create and then show up when you have something to show, right? It's so inspiring to go see other people's work and talk to the artists. And so I try to go as much as I can. I can't go to every single opening, but that's like a huge priority. I've connected one-on-one with a lot of the artists that have been doing it a lot longer than I have. And they are a wealth of advice and knowledge. There's plein air groups, like people that get together and go out and paint together. Especially, I've been dying to do those, but I still can't quite squeeze it in my schedule. That's why I go out often on my own, because it's sort of like, oh, I have 3 hours. I'm gonna
Total
go.
flexibility, right?
Yeah, it's super hard to like plan ahead because something always messes up my plans. But like in Collingwood, there's a planner group in Bala. So there's like small groups like that continually get together like that around here, that I will eventually be a part of for sure. Um, I am definitely building like a small community in Toronto too. Like I have some good art friends in Toronto, which is cool because I've participated in a few shows in Toronto now. So it's kind of like I used to go dreaming of being a part of those, and then getting to participate, it almost like felt like going to camp and like making all these new besties, and just like being able to talk with other people who understand and are in that industry is so important to being like sustainable as an artist, because it is really lonely and isolating sometimes. Before all of this like in-person stuff, throughout the pandemic, I joined an online community as well. It was called the Art Queens at the time when it was new, and now it's I think it's the Create. I'm gonna totally mess it up because she changed the name. But sorry. But anyway, that it's connected
Who changes
to
the name from Art Queens? That seemed like the perfect name.
I think just to be more welcoming to the male artists, just a wider group, because it is a huge online community. So
I don't think I
Katarina,
would be totally offended if someone called me a queen. I'd be like, it's cool.
yeah,
Queen's a cool title.
no,
Sure.
it and big companies like that rebrand. They do rebrand every few years, right? So that was like, that was a huge turning point for me, where I had all these questions building up or concerns about like how to do something. And I was definitely overthinking a lot of it, but I could just finally like ask people that were a few steps ahead of me. And then through that, you get put into pods. And I made an incredible group of artist friends. And I almost talk to them like almost daily online. We've had a running chat for close to 5 years, which is
Wow.
incredible. Yeah. The other three are in the United States, and I have never even gotten to see them in person yet, just with my mom life.
Right.
But it will happen at some point. So yeah, so I've got that. I've got like quite a few different communities. And then I tried to touch on like where I did burn out hard was I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but I started doing excursions locally, like taking people out by boat. It was called Come Paint with Me,
Okay.
and I booked people to come, like up to a group of 12 people. Would take them out for like a boat tour. We'd land at Gin Rock. I'd do like a whole painting lesson, spend the day, and yeah, give them a
That's
taste of like
cool.
doing like real plein air painting, kind of like how Group of Seven used to do. And just trying to do that business in addition to being a mom and my other art stuff was just, it just proved to be way too much. So,
Right.
The
yeah,
overambitious entrepreneur can be, yeah, it happens.
it seemed like the perfect mix of
I think that's super cool.
everything. Um, it, I mean, and not a lot of people would be comfortable doing that, taking people out by boat and with all the elements and the wildlife. But like, that's what I've done my whole life. So, um, yeah, it was really special. The trips that I did get to go out on and take a few groups. Um, and I feel like that idea is not dead. I feel like it just was not the right time.
Mhm.
So, but I still have people ask me about it, like people that were intending to book. Um, and that was the intention behind that was community. And I really wanted to, I always invite people out, like especially artists, as much as I can squeeze it in. I want friends to come up and paint with me and like share this incredible place that we live in, right? I don't I don't feel like it's fair for just like just the people that own cottages to be able to experience it. So, but obviously it has to be done in a really responsible way. Um so yeah, so that was sort of what I was trying to start something small there, but I'll circle back at some point.
You say to people when they're getting on the boat, don't worry, I'm a paramedic. It's all good. If anything bad
Right.
happens, I got you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, nothing really. And then the fact that my dad's company A&A and Kyle, he has a partner now. There's guys on all the islands everywhere. Like I have connections sort of thing with people working out on the islands all the time. So, um when you do need help, it's nice to be connected to those people that can scoot over with a first aid kit or an AED or whatever you need, right?
Right.
Because they have
We're
run
knocking on
into
wood at this
some.
moment.
Pardon?
So I'm knocking on wood at this moment as you say this.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, no, like, but yeah, stuff happens sometimes. My dad has some really crazy stories.
I
Tell your dad to get
bet.
on here.
Yeah,
Bet. Yeah.
he would love it. He loves telling stories, and
Sweet.
they just hit the 50-year mark with A&A. So
Wow.
Hmm.
yeah,
What's A&A
yeah.
stand for, just for all purposes?
So a lot of people think that it would be my mom and dad. Actually, our entire family's name are all starting with A's.
Whoa.
um, so Armin and Anne Marie, but actually originally it was Armin and Andy was his first partner.
Okay.
Um, and it's funny that you bring this up. Andy just died like last week,
Oh my goodness.
which is
So
really
sorry.
sad. No, that's okay. Oh man, amazing, amazing guy. He was the neighbor of my Opa. So they did just recently sell their cottage next to where we are now because we're now where my Opa had built his cottage. But yeah, when my dad was 18, he started his business with Andy, and Andy was, I don't know exactly how much older he is, but like 10 to 15 years older. And he had a little bit more business experience. So my dad partnered up with him and started barging and doing the marine contracting stuff with Andy. And then I don't know. I should know all of these. When it comes
Well, we'll
to
get him on. I'm
numbers,
serious about having him on. We'll drill him with
when it
all this
comes
stuff.
to numbers, I forget. But like, I think they worked together for around 5 years until my dad went out on his own and it became his company. But I think Andy wasn't as my dad has worked his butt off and was like a really, really passionate entrepreneur and built his business from nothing, right? So and I don't know that Andy also wanted to like have a bit of time off is what it came down to, and go
Naturally.
fishing. So yeah, but yeah, pretty crazy full circle. Yeah, I'll be going to the funeral soon for Andy. He is amazing, really cool guy. So we've had some really amazing.
We're gonna find out
in
more
our-
about this. Get me in contact with your dad.
I will for sure. Yeah, he's
He
pretty
could be
cool.
our first daughter-father combo we've had on here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Alex, you've been so generous with your time today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming out and talking to us two goofballs over here.
Super fun.
Yeah, so insightful. So much to take away from that. And yeah, wish you all the best on September 11th, everyone, at the Midland Cultural Center. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. It'll be the larger of the two galleries at Quest, and it'll be running from September till November. So,
all right.
We'll ask your friend Jessica Graham to go with us. She's probably already going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool. Yeah, I've been spreading the word since Christmas. I've been handing save the dates out. So
good.
Hopefully it'll be a good turnout.
Sweet. Looking forward to that.
All right.
Thank you for all your thoughtful questions. It was really fun chatting.
Thoughtful. All right. Yes. You're most welcome. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Have a great day, Alex.
Take care, Alex. You too. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Richard.
You feeling creative right now? I feel like I'm gonna go home and do some painting.
Right.
Maybe some coloring, something like that.
I have an audition to do tonight, and I'm feeling good about it. I'm gonna take some of that energy from that conversation and just
remember, you're not doing it for the audience. You're doing it for you, Bet.
Right? This is Ben's interpretation. Yeah. Absolutely.
What accent are you doing?
General American, as always.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Your best. They do your best.
Oh my God. You don't realize how much of an accent that like we have until you talk to people who are like actually like from the States, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry. Oh, you're sorry, bud." Yes, I am sorry.
I am one of those people that talk like that, so I get it.
Right. I mean, it's just it's so natural, right? I realized I did it. I mean, the first one of the first sets I was ever on, like first like union gig, my line was "Sorry, different Charlotte," and I said sorry, and I don't know who it was. I think it was some producer. Like I didn't see his face, just like yells out like, "It's sorry." Like, I'm sorry. I mean, damn it, sorry. And,
I don't think I've ever said sorry like sorry ever. That's weird.
Yeah, sorry, like the garment.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
Nice.
Anyway, folks, September 11th, Midland Cultural Center through to November. Make sure you check out Alex McLaughlin's wonderful exhibit. And if you're there, let us know where you're going.
Also, I am going to be the one to preach to you today. We're 22 episodes in. Things have been rolling along. Guests just keep coming. We got some amazing lineup.
Yes.
But also, the amount of views we're getting on, we'd really like to see some of those subscription numbers go up. And so someone out there is guilty. Actually, a few people I know. Just subscribe. We've got lots coming on. more guests that you want to connect with and want to know more about. So that's the best way to hear from us.
Looking at you, Heather. Looking at you.
She's subscribed. Sorry, I guarantee she's probably the first.
100%. Yeah. As always, everyone, thank you so much for stopping by our open house.
I hope you enjoyed the art talk and the psychology talk, and we'll see you the next time the house is open.
Bye.
Take care.